Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back on with the Harley Davidson. It's been a little while. We've been getting the Ducati and the Triumph ready, if you've seen the videos, to leave us at some point. So that's taken a bit longer than we expected, as per usual. But we're back on the Harley. If you haven't been here before, this is your first time here, the Harley is kind of our long-term project. And we tried to get it ready for the Isle of Man TT this year so we could have our holiday on it. I rebuilt the gearbox, I changed the swing arm, replaced the swing arm bushes for bearings and all the necessary machine work that I needed to do there. But probably my biggest mistake was converting all the rubber oil lines to braided pipes with bolted connections, which sounds a lot nicer, doesn't it? But ended up just causing a world of pain. Then we kind of run out of time, so we took the Ducati, long story short, or short story long, whatever way you want to look at it. So we're back on it today, but before I strip it down, I've made the decision that I'm going to restore it properly, get the frame powder coated, and get it all looking really nice, because most of it is done. You know, we have done a lot of it if you've been following the process. But before I do that, I want to sort out the rear brake master cylinder. I want to sort out the oil pipes again, because I'm still not happy with them. What else do I want to do? I need to make a bracket up to put the rear upholstered seat on, and I want to take it for a ride. I want to make sure that the gearbox is okay, this oil pipe conversion is okay, the rear swing arm conversion is okay, and I just want to make sure that everything's all right before we strip it down, put it back together, and then end up having to strip it all down again because we've got loads of teething problems. So I'm trying to eliminate some teething problems. If you are new here, guys, there's a full link in the description to the Harley playlist. We've had it for a couple of years now, and we bought it as a non-runner. So I'm Dino, this is my Harley, that's Patch's repair shop. Let's crack on and show you what we're going to do, shall we? Right, so the first thing I want to tackle is the oil tank. So what we did, guys, is we cut the oil tank around. I welded in some unions to allow me to fit these, hopefully you can see them, the sun's not too bright, these AN6 connections, like the ones that we've got just here, yeah? So I chopped the tank around and I got these AN6 connections in now. They touch the starter motor. They fit just by the skin of our teeth, but it touches the starter motor. I don't like it. And it suddenly dawned on me after I gave it some thought, they didn't actually need to be there. Carry on watching. Let's drain the oil tank. Let's get it out. Let me put it on the bench and show you why they don't actually need to be there. There's actually a lot more sensible place, neater place for them to actually go into the oil tank. The bottom one down here, let's move you back. The bottom one down here, yeah, I don't like this at all. So if you've got a recommendation, this is the feed into the engine from the bottom of the oil tank. So I can't really go down. That would be the most logical explanation, is to go down and hide it. But I can't. I need the gravity feed into the top. But if you've got an idea, guys, to neaten this one up, please let me know in the comments. So let's drain this oil tank. It's got oil in it. Hasn't leaked. That's a good thing. Let's drain this oil tank. Let's get it on the bench. Let's show you what I mean. And let's see if we can make those alterations. Right, guys and girls, let me show you what we've got here. And let me show you the absolute mess I made in an attempt to try and get it to the Isle of Man. So this one here, this union here, if you can see that, it's not the end of the world. It's not leaking. Okay, it's not the prettiest, but it's not leaking. It's where it needs to be. It clears everything. You can't see it when it's fitted. I can deal with that. Okay. This one I cannot. So I ended up having to move a couple of bits, put extra weld on because it was leaking, then I put seam sealer, then I put JB Weld. Can't even remember in what order. But look, it's just one big mess. That's not working for me. That was a rush to try and get it to the Isle of Man. You'll never see it on the bike, but I'll know it's there. And we can do better than that. We're better than that. So inside here, guys, if you haven't been watching, these are both return pipes, which means that the return pipe needs to sit higher than the level of the oil. So if you watch the previous videos, you already know I made some pipes up that are welded on the back of these unions, and they come up inside here so that they vent above the oil level of the bike. I hope that makes sense. It suddenly dawned on me that none of this needs to be here. I've got no space here. They're hitting the starter motor. It doesn't look good. That's not the idea. That's not what we were going for. It suddenly dawned on me. I don't need internal pipes. I need these pipes that bolt onto here to be sitting as high as they can on here. And in this area, on the motorcycle, on the Harley, I've got loads of space. The pipes won't be crimped and kinked and at funny angles, and they can run nicely up to here, and that will be above the oil level. And I think that that will work. If you think differently, guys, let me know in the comments below. So what we've got to do today is cut out this monstrosity, get the pipes out, weld a nice little plate over here, and weld 2 new unions up here. God, I make it sound so easy. Let's start by seeing if these ones will actually come out. I can't remember what the situation is. Got plenty of fittings, got plenty of pipe. So we don't need to spend any more moolah. We just need to rectify what I got wrong. But hey, it's a learning curve. We live and learn, right? Or not, in my case. Right, that's those out. Now, let's cut this out as neatly as we can, shall we? I think I might just remove this union as well, so that we don't catch it with a grinder. Right. Let's get that cut out there, shall we? Let's get some pliers on here. Right, so there you go, guys. You can see what I made to go up inside. Okay, so it misses the oil level. It would have been a great idea if it worked. Anyway, that's for the bin. So what we've got to do now is clean all the gunk up that some Wally put on here, and weld a panel over that. This also might be a good opportunity for me to get a good clean out inside that oil tank. I've never had that much access before. Right, hold fire, guys. While I've got the access in there, I'm going to give it a good scrub out. You lot thought I was going to cut through my workbench there, didn't you? Right, so marked it out, made a paper template. Get your words out, Dino. Made a paper template for the hole in the oil tank. Mark that round this bit of steel. Going to go and cut this out in the bench. See you in a second. Get rid of some of the old Christopher's. Nice. Ish, anyway. Right. Will this fit in there, and how many times am I going to drop this metal plate into the oil tank? Right, a couple of little adjustments required. We know that's a better fit then, don't we? So it's the first time it's been dropped in the tank. Yeah. Right, while that's cooling down, Right, little job to do for the father-in-law. While the welder's out, he's broken one of his garden chairs. Told him to go on a diet. Apparently that wasn't the answer, and now I'm welding it up. So let's get this done, because I'll be taking off the invite list for Sunday dinners soon if I don't get it done. Right, that's that welded up for you, Chris. I suppose we throw a bit of paint on it for him, won't we? Anyway, back to the Harley. We digress. Right, now the garden chair's fixed, we can carry on with the matter at hand. The oil tank. Right, we're going to need a couple of fittings. Let's have a look and see what we got. Right, so these have to go back into the tank. So what we'll do is we'll take something like this. This is a 3/8 by MPT, just a steel thread in a tube, if you like. And we'll weld these where we need them to be at the top of the tank. We better just check clearance on the frame first. So two of them. Somewhere there should be a blank. There we go. What I want to do, bear with me. We'll need a bit more pipe, but we won't need that yet. Some of these in here so that we can throw some of these little bags away. Right. Will that fit on there? Yes, it will. So if we screw that on there and we screw that back in there, you know where I'm going with this, guys, don't you? We can put some oil in it and do a little bit of a leak test. Let's have a little look up the top here first, though. see where these can fit in. So let's get some masking tape on it so that we can draw on it and mark out where they've got to go. Right, back in a minute. Right, hopefully you can see where I've marked it. So I just bolted the oil tank in place. Instantly fits better and looks better because it's not tight up against the starter motor. So, let's make a little century punch. Hope we can see him. Yes, we can. So what I found the first time round, guys, is if I drill a hole, which is what I did the first time round, the same size as this, because, you know, the diameter, the internal diameter, because that for some reason kind of makes sense to me. I'm just opening myself up for a world of pain of leaks because this will effectively near enough be the same size as that hole. And then it dawned on me, hang on a minute, that's the internal size of the pipes. That's all I need. And that seemed to work. And I get a lot less leaks that way. So maybe that's a patches top tip. I don't know. You guys might have a better way to do all of this, which I'm sure you can tell me all in the comments. Right, so I also don't need these to be this long. So I'm going to turn them down, make them a bit shorter. Right, so that's one done. Just turned it down in the lathe to the size I wanted. Right, that's those turned down. And those we're going to weld over here like that. Can you guys? That's probably a bit better, isn't it? So let's get these welded into place, shall we? Probably going to cover the camera now. Right. May not be the world's greatest welder, and I'm certainly out of practice these days, but that is a lot better than the monstrosity that was going on down here. So let's let that cool off, put some new fittings in it, do a leak test, clean up some welds, and get it back on the bike. And while I was measuring it all up or checking clearances, the pipes that are there that used to come round the front are the perfect length to go there. So it's like I was thinking about it, but not actually doing it. It's what we call rushing. Right, guys, so I've cleaned off the welds a little bit here on the plate, and I've done a leak test, filled it up with water, and it's not leaking. And in my eyes, if it's not leaking with water, it's probably not going to leak with oil. Could be wrong. That kind of usually works for me, though. Right, so still a bit wet here. Let's dry that off. When we know this is right, this can go in the powder coating pile to go off to be powder coated. I was going to use my unions that we took out, the original ones, but I'm going to do the right thing and put 2 new ones in, or at least I thought I was. Are these the right ones? They are. Well, that one is. Lovely. Right. Previously, I was putting these in with some PTFE tape, and I'm still not 100% sure whether that's the right thing to do or not. And I don't seem to be able to find too much info on it. So I've got some with and some without, and they aren't leaking. So, but then saying that, they haven't had a run around the block yet. That might change. Time will tell. Right, they're nice and tight. This one needs to be pointing that way. This blank needs to come off. Right. Should we do a little test fit? Right, so the bottom pipe has to go in first. This one is still a little bit awkward. This is the pipe running across the top of the gearbox that I'd love your thoughts on about how I can make that look neater. Right, that's better, guys. Fitted the pipe off the bike, fed it back through, done it that way. Right. Now, we got, what can you see? We've got these pipes, which are coming up from the gearbox housing or from the oil filter housing, which is actually the same thing, but so the gearbox casing makes up part of the oil filter housing. That's the words I should be saying. So I haven't had to do anything to these pipes, so that is a real bonus. And if I don't like it, it doesn't look right, we can still change it and we haven't wasted any more pipe. My arm's probably in the way, or my hand, I apologise. When you're doing these unions up, guys, you should use this aluminium spanner like this, stops scratch, so you don't scratch the unions, and that's like AN 3, 4, 6. So all your AN sizes are on there. The only thing is, it's a bit bulky. Right, so there's one. And then the other one. Excellent. So the oil tank's fitting nicer. The bolt holes are lining up. These pipes, let's move you guys back just a touch. I mean, that is just so much neater. These are the two pipes that were wedged up against the starter motor down there. That is so much better, guys. Super happy with that. Maybe a mil or two, literally just a mil or two extra on this pipe here when it goes back together. So I'm going to put a little note on that with some masking tape. This pipe is spot on. In fact, this pipe could probably lose 5 mil on this side to make it a bit nicer. One of those anyway, to make it a bit neater down there. Don't want it too close to the chain. If I bring you around here, just look how much neater that is. The pipes are all gone. Okay, there's a wire here at the moment, but that will be hidden. Oh, that's so much better, guys. See what happens when you don't have to rush. Super happy with that. This one's still going to bug me. So again, I know I've said it 2 or 3 times. If you've got an idea, let me know. This one here goes to the crankcase breather down there. And I think I might be able to do something else with that. I'll go to wait until the gearbox is back off the engine, because the engine will be going for powder coating to match the nice new powder coating that's on the gearbox. Apart from that, yeah, I don't mind it. I like this one, the way it goes over there and sits neat. This one doesn't offend me going underneath the clutch lever. This second one does a little bit. I think I can change that. I just need to look at my oil routing diagram to see what I can do there, but I've got an idea. It's this one. This is the one that's bugging me. Again, feed from the oil tank to the oil pump. So gravity fed. I can't go under. That won't work. Right. We'll have a think about that one. Right. Next up, guys, is the rear brake master cylinder. So, again, during the rush to get the bike done, I tilted it on the stand for something and snapped the rear brake master cylinder, the brake light switch, out the rear brake master cylinder on the old master cylinder. Again, it's what happens when you're rushing to get things done. So, new brake master cylinder. I've already put the union in. That's the feed from the rear brake reservoir. And then I had this made up at a local firm in Leicester. Super, super handy. I'm so glad I found them. It's a braided pipe. It's got a black outer and it's the right length. The pipe that was on this bike when I first got it was about 3 miles long, and, 2.9 miles of that was curled up and cable tied together behind the oil tank. So that obviously all needed to go. So this needs fitting to the bike. And then that fits in there. Lovely. So we're going to need to fit that to the bike, check that clearance is okay. I'm going to be honest, I think I've already checked that. I think that is okay. So let's go and bolt this to the bike first, shall we? So this is where it bolts. This is the lever coming off the pedal. There we go. So this is going to bolt round the back here. The actuator rod needs to go in the end of it like that. Splendid. See if the pipe fits. Do a bit of routing here. And this, ladies and gents, is why we're doing this, because we would have had to sort this in the final build-up. So this is going to work in terms of a test, but it's too close here against the frame. Way too close. So although it'll be all right for a road test, and it is still a few mil too long, so it's not a problem. But I think probably a right angle, maybe a 45, not a 90, I don't know. Something to keep that away anyway, keep that off the frame. Yeah, maybe a 45 down here. Yeah, good. That is a lot better though than what it was. A hell of a lot better. Just nip this one up. Right, we haven't got the travel on the pedal that we're going to need to actuate it. I want to know if it's just this, the way it is on the ramp. So if I let the ramp down, is the pedal going to start coming up? It's not looking good. No. So again, that gives us another little job to do. So you've got the actuator rod here. I know there's a boot missing at the moment. I had to push the master cylinder onto the rod. So I've taken up the travel that we require, you know, because I've got to push the pedal, which pushes this rod in. And if you can see, the sun's really bright. We're not going to complain about a lovely day. I've got no move. I haven't got enough movement there. So whether there's adjustment here, whether I can simply shorten that rod, I don't know. I'm going to have a look. But again, this is why we're doing it, guys. This is why we're kind of getting it ready for a run round the block to alleviate all these little problems before we go for the full resto. So The rear pipe needs a little bit doing, a little bit taking off, and we need to do something with this rod here. Just looking at it, making sure I haven't done anything stupid when I've put it back together, because that is the right master cylinder. Okay, no biggie. We can deal with that. Right, guys, that's a bit more done. So glad we got to the bottom of that oil tank. That's generally really pleased me. So now we know we've got a little bit of work to do on the rear brake master cylinder, seat bracket, and then we can take it for a little road test and see what else we need to add to the list before it's fully stripped down. So I'm Dino. This is Patch's Repair Shop. I'm going to stick a couple of videos on the screen now for you guys to click on. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I'd love to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Hit like, drop us a comment, and I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.